Welcome back, MG fam, to the Allentown Miners franchise here in the AFL Resurgence League. And after another great season in the AFL, we're going to be moving on to the offseason. And before we do that, let's check out what happened in the All-Star game, which was played the week after. You had a great performance from both squads. Hey, what a defensive game. In All-Star games, you normally see a lot of points. So this one right here ended up being 24-17. And the quarterback play for both squads was pretty decent. Rohan Davey participated after losing his second AFL championship game, and he performed a lot better in this game than he did in that championship game. And Brad Brown, he also assisted. Alex Carter for the Knights did a great job. David Jennings, even after winning the championship game, went in there and put up 100 on the ground. And then for the receivers, not much going on. You had Boss Bates out there with a touchdown on 2 receptions. Dusty Jackson did his thing. So now let's move on to the offseason. You can see, man, we made over $80 million this year. The majority of our money came from shared revenue, where we seen $100 million, man. What a great year for the league. And ticket sales, we got 39 M's. And on the screen right now, you can see Dick LeBeau has retired from the Ospreys. He said it's finally time to move on to South Beach and get some sun. And speaking of coaches, let's check out the coaching carousel. So you got Coach Coughlin, who formerly coached the Eagles, looking for a new contract. Well, he's probably going to get that contract from the Eagles because they have the best offer on the table. He went 8-8 in his first season as their head coach, and then 9-8 last year. He got his team to the playoffs last season, so you can look for them to re-up with the guy. And you have Jack Del Rio looking for a new job as well. I think the Piranhas are done with him after going 10-6 and not making the playoffs. But a 10-6 record is pretty good if you ask me. So he's going to probably be looking to do something like defensive coordinator for a new team or something. But I think he's worthy of a head coach job. So Brian Billick, he lost another Super Bowl, but this time as an offense coordinator. And he's going to be looking for a new place as well. And Dallas coach. Not sure the name of this coach, but he coached the Wildcats last year. And he's seen a lot of improvement there. And I think he's going to head back there. And you got Marvin Lewis, who coached the Orlando Bulls. He took that team to a 6-10 record, which is a decline from the year before. And then you got Mike Singletary, who was a former defensive coordinator, looking to take over for Jack Del Rio there in Puerto Rico. And for our squad, we're looking for an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator. And we're going to look to bring our guy Warhop in to be an offensive coordinator for 2 years and $540K a year. And he's going to accept our offer. And then we're going to look to bring in Coach Bush as well. Coach Bush is going to be our defensive coordinator. He can coach linebackers. He can do a lot of great things. And we're going to give him a contract of $500K for 2 years. And we're going to try to grind these coaches out and hopefully get them a head coaching gig in the future. So take a look at our coaching staff right in front of you guys. We got Shanahan still holding it down as a head coach. Warhop is going to be our offensive coordinator. Bush is going to be our D coordinator. And our special teams coach is going to be Coach Miller, who we picked up last year. And after simulating the coaching carousel, you can see Mike Singletary got his first head coaching job here in the AFL with the Puerto Rico Piranhas, man. What a great hire for this team, who has a lot of great defensive talent. And I think Singletary is going to do what he needs to do over there to help those guys get back to the promised land. Now on to the retirements in the league. So we had a lot of great guys leave, and the top guy this year is Jerome Woods, who was a free safety for the Piranhas. So Mike Singletary is going to be looking to bring in a young free safety, and Reggie Tong from the Milwaukee Beavers, he's out of there as well. He was a strong safety, pretty good player. And Steven Davis, the 34-year-old running back, leaves the Mustangs, and the Mustangs are going to look to replace him. You got Orlando Brown, a great tackle, who is going as well. So we're going to go over to manage our roster now. It's time to do some re-signings and some cuts, man. So first up is Greg Rose. We're going to let him go because our depth at receiver is too deep, man. Too deep. We're too deep over there, and we don't need him anymore. He only got 3 receptions last year. And we also going to get rid of Joe Simon, who didn't even see a carry last year. He had 2 TDs in our first season. 25 yards, 8 carries, but we don't need him as well. So moving on, we're going to re-sign some players now. And we got Clyde Lincoln, our tight end, 82 overall, one of our best players. We know we bringing him back for sure. He always helps us out in the clutch, and he helps out with blocking and getting some big grabs for us. So we're going to do a 3-year, $5.76 million deal with a $960 signing bonus, and he loves it. And he's going to take that one. And we're going to also try to sign my guy Tripp. Once again, Walt Tripp. He is a 65 overall defensive tackle. He has 7 sacks in his career, and we're going to sign him to a 2-year deal worth $1.7 million and a $200 signing bonus. And next up, we got Chris Hicks, the 6'7 guy, the big D tackle that we picked up last year. He has 13 sacks in his career, and he has shown us that he can stuff the middle, baby. So we're going to give him a 2-year deal worth $2.2, put him about $300K on top of his signing bonus. And you already know we need Bill LaFleur. Bill LaFleur, the punter, put him in there for 3 years, baby, because you got to have a good punter. And Antonio Brown, man, Antonio Brown, AB, the 65 overall receiver. He's become a deep threat for our squad, and we're going to bring him back on a 2-year deal worth $1.7 as well with $200K signing bonus. So after signing our players, we moved on to the free agent signing, and the top guy in the free agency this year is Norman Powell. Norman Powell is a 99 overall defensive tackle who made it to the All-Star game last year, and he's an icon here in the AFL. Norman was released by the Knights, and I think they're going to look to bring him back, man. Maybe he's just testing the waters. You already know he's a 99 overall, and he is probably the best defensive tackle in the AFL. And you got Curtis Means. He was released by the Demons, the right tackle. He's looking for a new home, 96 overall guy. And the top QB this year in the free agency is Dwight Thomas, the backup for Jerome Carson. He's looking for a new home. He's tired of playing second fiddle to Jerome, and he want to go out and prove himself to the AFL. And you can see he's a 77 overall with 89 throw power, 81 throw accuracy. Awareness is pretty good, but he's not as fast as Jerome. And the top running back is Edward Hollins, who was released by the Hornets. He was the backup for them. And you have 2 interesting receivers on the market, Cottrell and Norman. Cottrell was released by the Leopards because the Leopards have great depth at wide receiver. You guys saw in that AFL Championship game, you didn't even see him catch a ball because they don't need it. And then the top tight end is Kirk Jones. He played for the Lizards last year. He's an 87 overall, 6'2", 259, 6-year pro. Wherever he lands, a team is going to get a great one. So after simulating the free agency period, you got Powell going back to the Knights, Means headed to the Lizards, and Miles, the right tackle, going to the Bobcats. And Dwight Thomas will head on to the Troopers, man. The Troopers finally get a quarterback. And the Hornets back up. Hollins goes to the Bombers. Gordon goes to the Bulls, and another Hollins going somewhere else, going to the Pirates. And then Cottrell, the receiver from the Leopards, is heading to the Bulls, and Norman going to the Crocs. And then the top tight end, Kirk Jones, is heading to the Dolphins. So the Dolphins is putting together a great team. But now it's time for the draft, man. You guys can see the draft order in front of you. The Lightning got the top pick. You can slide on down. The Hawks got the number 2 pick once again. The Troopers got the 3rd pick. Patriots with the 4th. Beavers with the 5th. Grizzlies with the 6th. Crocs, who had a top pick last year, got the 7th. And Ospreys has the 8th. And the Mustangs has the 9th pick. And the Pirates, they have the 10th. So we are further down on the list, and we ain't even going to cover all that. But you guys can see right here the top players in this year's draft. Scratton, the QB, will most likely go to the Lightning. The kid is 6'7", 237. Then you have Scott, who will most likely go to the Hogs, 5'11", 233 running back, and he runs a 4.5. And then you got Walker, the receiver, Rudd, the receiver, and Swanson. So they got 3 receivers going in the top 5 this year. It's going to be kind of interesting to see if all 3 of them land that top 5 spot. But before we head to the draft, we're going to check out the college all-star game to see if we can scout some of this talent that they're saying is great. We would like to see Scratton out there and see if he can do his job. So you can see in front of you, we're ready to get it on. Out here in Honolulu, Hawaii, once again, we got the college all-star game, man. The 2nd annual college all-star game is going on, and you can see Scratton at QB, the running back, Drake in the backfield. So they're in the red zone. We're going to see if Scranton can get him a touchdown. Scranton's going to sling that one, and his receiver caught it, and it's going to be a fumble at the goal line, and they recovered it. And number 50 got his team the fumble recovery. And out here you got Matthews, number 4. He is out here for the blue team, and he throws a pick on the first play, and number 56, the linebacker, takes it to the crib. Matthews, you can't be throwing passes like that in the college all-star game, buddy, because if you go to the AFL with those type of mechanics, oh man, they're going to pick you apart. So 1st and 10 once again for the blue team. Let's see what they do. They're going to hand this one off to the fullback who couldn't get much, and there's another fumble. So turnover again. That's 2 turnovers in the first quarter by the blue team. So you got Scranton out here once again, number 16. You can check out Scranton. He got confused just now. Did he do the wrong thing, or was the team just lost? So Scranton is looking once again. He pumps, slings that one, and he got his receiver again. He held on to this one, but it's going to be a holding call. And Leroy Walker, who fumbled on the last drive, ended up getting injured. So Leroy Walker might not be that guy. So Scranton going to sling that one, and great coverage, man. I'm not sure where he was going, and Leroy Walker will be out for 1 quarter with a pinched nerve. So Scranton drops back, and once again, he gets sacked that time by the DB, and that's going to wrap up the first quarter. The score is 7-0, the white team leading, and on 3rd down in the second quarter, Drake caught that one. Nice pass from Scranton as he got hit, and they were able to get in the red zone, baby. So you got Scranton once again on 3rd down, slinging that one to the back of the end zone, and they finally score offensively. All right, so the blue team is back out here, and you got Matthews slinging one deep. Finally, he found a receiver. Matthews has an arm, you can see, but the decision making is a little iffy, and he slings that one, and number 40 picked him off. My goodness, he telegraphed that pass. Check it out. Matthews threw it in the air. Number 40 was just waiting. He's like, hey, is he throwing it to me? And he got that interception. So back out, the white team up 14-0. Scranton got a little protection. He's going to sling this one, and he's finally getting things going. And number 89 catches that one, and he's at the 10. And it's going to be a touchdown for the white team once again, and they're going to halftime with a 21-0 lead. So I feel sorry for Matthews. His draft stock might take a hit after this game, and he is taking hits as well. So 3rd and 18 for the blue team. Let's see what Matthews can do. He's going to sling that one, and risky pass. 3 guys in the vicinity, but he pulled it down somehow. So you got the running back Webster right here. He's one of the top running backs in this year's draft, and he's finally getting some work. So Matthews, he's going to try to get something there, but he got hit pretty hard, and that ball went wherever it went. So he's going to throw another one in the air, and this time it's overshot. Luckily, it's not a pick. So 3rd and 15, Matthews is going to sling one, and it's going to be 4th down. So 1st and 10. Scranton is back out here, handing it off to Drake, and Drake finally getting some work himself, and it's going to be a holding call. They're going to push that back. So 1st and 18, Scranton is going to drop back, slings that one, and come on, man, you got to pull those in, buddy. So 2nd and 18, Scranton felt the pressure that time. They swarmed him, putting that pressure on him. Scranton got to roll out of the pocket, buddy, and he's going to hand this one off to Drake, who found some room, and a nice gain, but not enough for a 1st down. So Drake has 35 yards on 9 carries. Pretty decent running from a running back, but Webster is back out here, and he broke one, and he got his team across the 50. So 2nd and 5. Matthews dropping back, slinging that one. Nice catch that time by number 85, and he goes out of bounds. So at the end of the 3rd quarter, the score is still 21-0. I'll be surprised if a team gets shuts out in an all-star game, bro, especially the college all-star game. But Matthews going to sling this one across the middle, and another, I thought number 40 was going to pull another pick down. Whoever that kid is, his draft stock is going up as well. And then a nice out pass there, but not enough for a 1st down. And you can see, man, with Matthews, he's playing like Rohan Davey, and Matthews going to drop back, and in the dirt it goes. And at the end of the game, the score was 21-0, and the white team look great, man. Look wonderful. Matthews look horrible. A 29 QBR, 176 yards passing, 3 interceptions, bro. And Scranton, who is projected to be the number 1 draft pick, had a pretty decent game. 123 QBR, 2 touchdowns, no picks, 135 yards, man, on only 5 completions. And Webster ran the ball better than anybody today, but his team was on a losing end. He had 9 carries and 59 yards, average 6.5 per pop, so I won't be surprised if he goes in the first round. And Drake, 3.3 a pop, not great. He might fall into like the 4th round. I'll be surprised if anybody else pick him up earlier than that. And Spoto, he shined as well. 4 catches for 108 yards, and the only touchdowns came from Boone and Rudd. Rudd is scheduled to be a top 5 draft pick, and you guys saw that speed on display. And Orlando Collier draft stock went up as well after that interception and that near pick, which would have gave him 2. So now we're moving on to the draft, and on the clock with the first pick, the Toledo Lightning selected Phil Stratton, the 6'7" QB from Memphis, and they looking for him to take over and change that franchise. And the number 2 pick goes to the Hogs, who selected the offensive player this year, and the Hogs would take Ray Scott, the running back from Troy. And with the 3rd pick, the Troopers selected Leroy Walker, the receiver from Ole Miss, to pair him with Dwight Thomas. So he got him a guy to throw the ball to, and the 4th pick goes to the Olympia Patriots, and Peter Rudd, the receiver, got his call. And the 5th pick goes to the Beavers, and they got a wide receiver, Swanson, from Nevada. And the 6th pick is in as well, and you got the Grizzlies selecting another receiver, Bo Palmer from Louisville. And then you got the Crocs on the board, buddy, and they select a free safety, Orlando Coyle from Michigan, after a great All-Star game. And the 8th selection is in as well, and you got the Ospreys selecting Nate Nelson, the tight end from Kansas State. And the 9th selection is in, and you got the Mustangs selecting Chester Mason, the cornerback from Boston College. And now the 10th pick is in, and you got the Pirates selecting Grant Drake, the running back from South Carolina. And the 11th pick is in, and you got the Cowboys selecting William Webster. And the 12th pick is in, and you got the Bulls selecting Josh James, the outside linebacker from Colorado. And the 13th pick is in, and you got the Outlaws selecting Tamarick Spoto, the wide receiver from Colorado. And the 14th pick is in, and you got the Wildcats selecting Josh Bates, the middle linebacker from Oregon. So we went ahead and simulated the rest of the draft, and we're going to focus right now on our draft pick. So we ended up selecting Lawrence Wheeler in the first round, a right guard. His kid is an 84 overall, and in the 2nd round, we took Burns, who turned out to be a 78 overall defensive tackle. We also got a receiver, Larson, 77 wide receiver, and then we got a cornerback, Darnell O'Neal, who's a 78 cornerback, and Vernon Carter as well, outside linebacker, who came in as a 72. Then we selected another cornerback, CJ Duff, who came in as a 74 overall, and we also got a quarterback, Chad Alford. He's a 75 overall. In the last pick, we chose Troy Abraham, the free safety, who came in as a 70 overall. So this draft right here was probably our best draft so far, man. We got a lot of solid players, a lot of great players on the defensive side, and we sprinkle in a few offensive players. So now we're going to move on to the 2nd free agent signing period. You got Sammy Law, the tight end, heading to the Lizards, and you got Gibson, another tight end, going to the Eagles, and Anthony Hawk, another tight end, heading over to the Bobcats. So it's been a lot of great tight ends out there. So Chad Hutchinson was the top quarterback signed in the 2nd free agency period. But another guy you guys need to watch out for is Benny Shute, the rookie who went undrafted. He will head to the Lizards. And you got Dave Ragone going to the Bucks, and Greg Franklin heading to the Bobcats. For the running backs, you got Jackson going to the Bucks, Griffin going to the Ospreys, and the top receiver was Jake Schifino heading to the Hornets, Nelson going to the Dragons, and Simpson going to the Beavers. All of those receivers were 65 overalls. And for the offensive lineman, the best guy that was selected was the right guard Joey Briggs, who went to a Pro Bowl last season. He's heading to the Hampton Generals. He played for Hampton in his first season in the AFL, had 34 pancakes, 2 sacks, and this year he's gonna go back to his home place, baby, where it all started. So that was a pretty quick, condensed off-season recap. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And you already know what it is, man. It's your boy McGruff, man. Hit that like button, that notification bell, and we're gonna try to get seasons 3 started as soon as possible. And I'm glad you guys are enjoying the content. Like I said, don't forget to hit that like button, that notification bell, and subscribe to the channel, man. It's your boy McGruff, and I'm out. 1.